Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is May 23rd, and today I'm back with another video. Today we have a large enhanced risk stretching from South Dakota down in the eastern Colorado. We have a 10% tour risk. We have also a lot of activity going on inside of that 10% risk. So let's go ahead and look at that right now. So on the northern part of this, line right here, we have this storm has had a history of producing funnel clouds and even a tornado. We can see hail, damaging wind, and a tornado threat, all modes with this storm right here coming in this. It's going to kind of go right to the east of Sydney, and Sydney is in the Nebraska Panhandle. It's entering the the Panhandle in Nebraska right now. If you live in Lodgepole, or Lodgepole could get impacted by this. Hopefully it does go to the. Hopefully it goes to the west, but it's going to be kind of close. You can see the rotation it's kind of broadened out a little bit, but it's right there. Overall, this is a pretty strong storm with all modes. And yeah, then let's go back up to further to the north. In the Rapid City area, we do have a line of storms. This really screams damaging winds. This line of storms here. Maybe some hail coming into the western and northern sides of Rapid City. And also, I don't think this line is going to really produce too much or have really much of a tornado threat with this at all. One reason is that this is an outflow dominant line. We can clearly see that we have an outflow boundary on reflectivity. We can clearly see that right here. And so that means that this line's outflow dominant, which is normal for a squall line. Or not really normal, but we can see definitely not really much of a tornado threat with this. But we do have a few supercells that are trying to get going in front of this. So we can see we have one right to the north of New Underwood, and that is severe warn for hail and damaging winds. And further to the north, really no good radars, but we did have this cell. This cell is coming into North Dakota. Has been under or was under a tornado warning previously, but that has since expired. And overall, a lot of activity in this area tonight. Enhanced risk definitely is not a bust at all. This enhanced risk is doing pretty good. Damaging line of storms going on with a lot of tornadic activity in our 10% of tour risk. We can go ahead and take a look at the storm reports that we've already had tonight. We've already had 7 tornado reports. We had a tornado. I'm not going to say a tornado, but we had reports of a tornado in northwestern South Dakota. And we had many reports of a tornado in eastern Colorado. I'm thinking that I've seen pictures of it. Or not really. Yeah, I've seen a photo of it. We did have a tornado in eastern Colorado. I'm unsure about the South Dakota or about northwestern South Dakota there, but I'm assuming. Let's see where these reports came from. It doesn't say in the comments, but we had a lot of spotter network reports of funnel clouds, and even a reported tornado from law enforcement. This is in Washington County, Colorado. So we probably already had a few tornadoes tonight, or this afternoon, and that's likely going to continue. We could even have a few more. We'll have to see. I don't think the 10% tour is busted, though, at all. And yeah, so let's go ahead and, or actually, I want to take a look at the SPC mesoanalysis here, and see what kind of environment we have for severe weather. So there's really no good sectors for this area, so let me just pick one. Alright, this isn't bad. So we have kind of a few surface lows, but overall, we have a dry line type feature setting up right here. Or let's take a look at surface plots, actually, surface observations. So if we can see, let me zoom in. So areas like Denver, dews in the 30s over there. That's definitely in the dry sector. Looks to be like the dry line is situated kind of like this. Yeah, we can see this is our tornadic storm up here. Dews around 60. And let's just take a look at what kind of environment we have. So take a look at Cape. We have a lot of Cape. Really not a whole lot of capping either, so that's good. We have a lot of surface-based Cape. 3,500 surface-based Cape, where we have at where we have that line of storms going off in northeastern Colorado. That line of storms is really going to thrive. Plenty of cape, which that's going to help to keep it going. Mid-level lapses. Lapse rates aren't extremely steep as these storms continue moving further to the east. The hail threat with them is likely going to go down for two reasons: lower lapses, and also storms are going to kind of switch to a more linear storm mode, which they're already starting to do. But that the hail threat will still exist, but it's going to go down. And these storms will weaken as they move into this area overnight. We can actually go back to service-based cape and we can go forecast that. So this is 6 hours out. You can see we have this model. This is from the wrap. You can see we still have a line of storms coming down through Colorado, Kansas. We are starting to get capping, though. That's going to limit new storms. And that's going to mean this line slowly dies off. We still have plenty of instability, but the instability is starting to get a little more limited. And this line will make it pretty far to the east. Really a damaging wind threat as far east as maybe central Nebraska, central Kansas. Maybe even making it to eastern Nebraska in that area. And then another thing we can look at is storm relative velocity. Let's look at the surface to 1 kilometer. We can see that spike, so right up in northeastern Colorado where we have that tornadic storm right now. That's kind of interesting. And then I want to switch sectors so we can get a little bit further to the north. Let's do this sector. We have decent helicity also across South Dakota, southern North Dakota. And yeah, pretty decent helicity. LCL heights are favorable. Let's take a look at bulk shear. Bulk shear is sometimes not really helpful, but we do have a lot of bulk shear. And yeah, there's one other thing I was going to look at, but I forgot where that's located on this. So I guess we'll just look at it tomorrow. But yeah, so it does look like the highest area for, I'd say we have a few areas with the concern for tornado risk going on right now. I'm thinking that this area in South Dakota, it looks very interesting. We have even a few, we even have a supercell, or even a few supercells moving into this area and moving through it currently. And this area has favorable for maybe a brief tornado. Doesn't look to be anything along track, but maybe a brief tornado. We've already had some action in that area. And where we already have action going on right now, this area, I think that this area is still going to continue to be favorable. Really the western areas of the Nebraska Panhandle and northeastern Colorado, I think that area is going to continue to be favorable for tornadoes. So let's go back over to the models now. We're actually meant to do something else here. Let me go back to the SPC's homepage. I want to look at the convective outlook for tomorrow and so on. So tomorrow we can see we have a large slight risk, pretty much a similar area, just a little bit further to the southeast, 2% TOR risk. On day 3, we have a marginal risk right there. And then on day 4, we have no day 4 through 8 outlook. So let's go back to the models. Let's go to the HRRR. I want to do the 18Z. I want to do the 18Z run because that goes out further. So this is pretty much what's going on right now. You have a lot of storms in the plains. And we also have a lot of snow going on in western Montana areas of Idaho, especially in the higher elevations. You have some late May snow up there. Even some storms going off along the dry line in Texas and New Mexico. Pretty active evening, and it does look like tomorrow is going to be active as well. 20Z tomorrow. We can see we have a low pressure right in Colorado. We have some moisture. We have our I guess death ridge is what some people call it, stretching across much of the east. That's going to be bringing the southeast a pretty significant heat wave. That's also going to be helping to bring some moisture into the plains. We'll get a little bit of lift, maybe some thunderstorms. Let's just take a real quick sounding in southern Texas. See if it's any good. Really damaging wind and not really a tornado threat. We don't have any speed shear with that at all. And so pretty much the areas I would want to watch are this area, and that's really, or this area, and then this area right here. That was kind of too big, but let's just take a sounding in Nebraska. This is 20Z, so this is mid-afternoon. You can see we have plenty of instability. I mean, the 20th threat with this is questionable. It doesn't, I mean, the shear profiles don't look great, but definitely a large hail threat with that and a damaging wind threat as well. Let's go actually. Let's go ahead and go to 00Z. This is 8 p.m. We can see has some storms starting to go off on the dry line. Let's take a look at dews. You can see this area right here really stands out to me, especially areas of Kansas. I want to take a sounding right there, actually. Shear profiles with that aren't really great, but let me zoom in on the central U.S. So we have some pretty moist, some pretty nice dews up into the mid-60s. I mean, these shear profiles aren't great. They're nothing to really be, it's nothing that looks to be too significant, but we do have maybe a little bit of an interesting setup across this area. I'm thinking areas of Kansas, western Kansas, northern Oklahoma have the greatest tornado threat. Let me go ahead and take a look at, let's go back to precipitation type. We can see HRRR indicates some storms going off. Let's just take let's try and get some better soundings. Yeah, this is a little better, but that is also contaminated. Take one in southwestern Kansas, and, whoa, that's worse. Let's take one right here. Well, I mean, it doesn't look great at all, but I do think we are going to see a tornado threat tomorrow. I think we're going to see the greatest risk for tornadoes. This is Monday. This is tomorrow. I think the greatest risk for tornadoes is going to really occur across this area. Really western Kansas. Let's see what the SPC has, actually. Let me get rid of that. So for tomorrow, the SPC, I think it's kind of that area too. Maybe a little bit further to the north. But that's the area I'm thinking has the greatest threat of tornadoes. I do think the tornado, or I can't talk, but I do think a tornado threat will exist outside of that area, of course. Let's just take a sounding in southern Nebraska. It looks to be a little bit less of a tornado threat up here, but definitely still exists. Yeah, those are really the 2 days I wanted to look at on the HRRR. Now, last thing I'm going to do in today's video is, I guess, just talk about the general pattern. So, Monday we can see we have a very deep low spinning up in Canada. Definitely has the appearance of a weakening low, and also an upper level low. We have a high pressure pretty much dominating the east, bringing a heat wave to the southeast. Storms in the plains coming up into the northern, really central plains and into the Midwest. Some mountain snow, Montana. And yeah, so then I want to go ahead and take a look at Wednesday. So this is Wednesday. We have that could be a pretty significant winter storm for areas of Canada. Or not really a winter storm, but a pretty significant snowstorm for areas of central Canada. And definitely looks interesting across the plains here. Let's go ahead and take a look at dews. A few areas I want to watch. Really, I want to watch this area and areas in the northeast as well. Let's just take a sounding in areas in Nebraska. Or let's just take a sounding in Nebraska. That kind of didn't really sound right. Wow, this is actually impressive. Wow. Shear profiles are very favorable of tornadoes, and that HODA looks really good, actually. I think that Wednesday could be maybe a interesting day to watch. I'm thinking that we're going to want to watch this area on Wednesday. That's kind of big, but that's the general area I want to watch. Wednesday actually looks to be very interesting. This is off the GFS also, which is kind of cool. Now, tomorrow I'm going to look at the NAM for Wednesday, and we'll see what the NAM is saying, see if the NAM agrees with the GFS. But overall, I think we're going to have a tornado threat across areas in Nebraska and Kansas, maybe Colorado as well, on Wednesday. And across the Northeast, maybe we could see some kind of severe weather threat. Let me just take some soundings. We have a cold front, and overall, none of these really look good. Let me maybe go earlier in the day. This is a little earlier in the day. Maybe we could see a marginal or a slight risk for the Northeast. Doesn't look extremely impressive, but yeah, really mainly a damaging wind threat for sure in the Northeast on Wednesday. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. But yes, goodbye.